right? This is only her third episode. I can't think of anybody I would go to for advice less than Michelle Obama. She really doesn't know what she's talking about. First of all, she loves to tell us she hated Barack for a good decade.
Yes.
Okay, please teach me how to have a successful relationship
right.
with someone that you clearly respect and admire. Every time she's on the air, it's like, I'm dragging this ball of dead weight behind me. His name, Barack Obama. He's bringing me down. I'm trying to elevate myself with like these things on my head.
It looks like Mickey Mouse.
It's so
like
weird.
The two ears up there, these two big balls on the left and the right of her head.
Like, what kind of midlife crisis is she in the throes of right now?
No,
she's constantly...
You see the other one where she had the three balls on the back of her head, and I think it was Benny Johnson was calling it her Stegosaurus cut. That's what it looks like the back of his...
Michelle Obama is back in the public eye with a podcast, a memoir follow-up, a wellness line, and more. The big question is, are all these projects authentic? Or is this part of a well-planned media tour? On this show, I'll unpack how Michelle, along with Megyn Kelly and Jesse Waters, has become a central figure in today's political and wellness stage. We start by looking at her podcast. She's made comments about her marriage, her family, and her husband Barack Obama, which are overwhelmingly positive. Instead of sharing loving memories, she reveals tensions. She mentions not being into Barack at first, complaining about his schedule, saying he was on island time. Then she talks about them going to couples therapy. All these revelations come across as bits from a staged confessional, perfect for a media rollout, but not what one might expect from someone claiming to want privacy. Megyn Kelly and Jesse Waters confronted Michelle with this strategy. Kelly, who has built a brand around exposing hypocrisy, paused and pointed out the disconnect. Here is Michelle selling juice, dodging politics, but still dropping political lines. Waters leaned into the irony, noting how Michelle says she doesn't want to run for office, yet produces media like a campaign trail. Together, Kelly and Waters laid into Michelle's brand, revealing what they see as carefully calculated moves. Let's look deeper. Michelle's multi-million-dollar wellness empire includes juices, granola, and retreats. Even as she claims humility and distance from politics, her actions hint otherwise. Signing big deals with Netflix, writing not one, but multiple memoirs, launching a stadium tour, and building a podcast network. All these are media moves that seem at odds with her stated goal of staying quiet. Kelly and Waters pointed to behavior that seems inconsistent. Michelle says she hates politics, but she signed big deals and dropped political commentary. She criticizes America while promoting products that cost a lot. Her memoirs keep coming one after another, yet she says she's stepping back. She hosted kids on garden-themed health tours, yet the school lunch program she oversaw in the White House caused backlash among parents and students. It gets even more pointed. Her negativity isn't just about politics. It's about family. She laments how hard motherhood is. She talks about feeling depressed. She paints a grim picture of relationships and parenting. And then her wellness line sells juice cleanses as though people need moral guidance. Combine this with big brand partnerships and grand speeches, and the image becomes crystal clear. She is building an emotional empire, packaged as humility and authenticity. Kelly asked her to clarify who she really is. Is she a private person, done with politics, or is she campaigning again just in a different form? Waters mocked her claims of not running for office, pointing out that starting a podcast often comes just before a campaign launch. They pointed out her Instagram, curated images of school kids one day, expensive gowns the next, her public schedule, E-Rock, stadiums, Oprah, Netflix, all while saying she's stepping away. Next up, Jesse's take. Waters didn't bring facts, so much as tone and style, smirking and letting the audience feel the disconnect. He joked that Michelle's line is, "I'm just like you. If you ignore security details, luxury deals, retreats, media tours." He noted how she says she doesn't want office while speaking as if she's in a campaign rally. He highlighted her passive-aggressive jabs at those who disagree under the guise of inspiration. Let's get into specific examples. She praised therapy, said she forced Barack to stop playing basketball. She recalled the White House trauma. She vented about kids embarrassed by their father's turkey pardoning jokes. That's fine for a private talk, but when staged and released to the media, it looks calculated. Then there's the school lunch and fitness crusade. In the Obama years, Michelle pushed healthy eating in schools. Many students didn't like it. Waters brought up pizza ban of 2011, jokes about kale chips being contraband. He said kids traded kale chips behind the swings, that parents found it annoying. The point, Michelle's crusade once met real pushback, but now, without that context, she's using it as another emotional note for her brand. Kelly and Waters noted missed events. Michelle skipped Jimmy Carter's funeral and Trump's inauguration. Barack showed up alone. Now she's releasing part of her life on podcasts and selling products. The message from Kelly and Waters is clear. If you really wanted distance from politics and public life, why be everywhere again? Let's review her media appearances. She's touring with stadium keynote speeches, Netflix spots, multiple talk shows, Oprah interviews. She's launching product lines, new book. All show coordinated media planning. She says she doesn't miss the White House, but her schedule suggests otherwise. Kelly called her out on setting interview rules. Don't ask me about politics, she said. But then she casually dropped commentary on societal issues. That inconsistency excluding questions, but leaving room for commentary begs the question. Is she running or is she rebranding? Taken together, the image is powerful. Michelle Obama, the global brand, is both shutting out politics and practicing quiet campaigning. Her self-help empire with emotional narratives, wellness tourism. Curated Instagram comes off as a campaign in disguise. Kelly and Waters, despite ideological differences, both called her brand out for lacking authenticity. So what can we take away? First, public figures can package themselves as humble while promoting multi-million-dollar brands. Second, calling it out doesn't have to be left or right. Kelly is seen as more centrist, Waters as right-wing, yet both joined for this critique. Third, the paradox of someone claiming to want privacy yet launching over-the-top media shows that authenticity is often a marketing tool. If Michelle runs again in 2028 or beyond, none of this will surprise anyone. She's built a platform akin to a campaign. She's revealed personal life, but some negative, and she's selling emotional wellness products. That's not off limits. It's strategic, and Kelly and Waters are pointing it out. In conclusion, Michelle Obama's media surge might seem like a rebrand, but to some, it looks more like a pre-campaign. She shares her marriage struggles, positions herself as relatable, yet operates like a brokering media mogul. Kelly and Waters seem to agree that this is more performance than personality. Now is the time to think, will we take these narratives at face value? Will we buy into the idea of humble humility and natural narrative? Or will we question if it's all part of a bigger plan? That's what Megyn Kelly and Jesse Waters did. They spotted the contradiction. They highlighted the choreographed persona. They called her out without malice, but with curiosity. And this debate shows how public figures can blur media, politics, and personal brand. To meet your 8,000-word goal, we need about 6,000 to 100 more words. I'll continue expanding the script by deepening the analysis, adding more commentary, and providing additional examples, still keeping everything in simple English, paragraph format, and without hooks. Let's now talk about how Michelle Obama's current media presence stands in contrast to how former First Ladies traditionally behave. After leaving the White House, normally, First Ladies take a quieter path. Some may write one memoir, maybe join a charity or two, and occasionally make speeches at events. But Michelle has taken a different route. She has chosen to stay very visible. Not only does she attend interviews, but she is building an entire media and wellness brand. It includes documentaries, children's shows, talk show appearances, podcasts, memoirs, health products, and stage tours. While she claims to not enjoy the spotlight, she's in it more than many current public officials. This kind of branding can be confusing. On one hand, she speaks about privacy, staying grounded, and avoiding politics. On the other hand, everything she does is wrapped in attention-grabbing campaigns. That creates what some call a contradiction between what she says and what she does. Megyn Kelly noticed this clearly. She pointed out how Michelle wants to be seen as relatable, but then presents herself in designer outfits, with polished social media posts and staged interviews. It's difficult for many regular people to see her lifestyle and feel she is one of them. Jesse Waters also played a big role in this criticism. He doesn't just disagree with Michelle politically, he questions her actions as a media figure. He points out how Michelle talks about being tired of public life, but has produced more content and products in the last few years than some full-time entertainers. Jesse uses humor and sarcasm to show how Michelle's stepping away from politics. looks more like stepping deeper into the spotlight. His examples are simple, but powerful. He says that if you really want to stay out of politics, you don't launch another podcast. You don't sign more Netflix contracts. You don't go on speaking tours with ticket prices that are higher than some concerts. One thing that really stands out is how Michelle Obama presents her marriage in her podcast. She often shares details about how difficult married life can be. She talks about therapy sessions, emotional gaps, disagreements with Barack and her, struggles in the White House. While honesty is usually respected, Michelle's tone often feels negative. Most people expect a balance, yes. Marriage is hard, but it also has joy and connection. Michelle's stories are heavily focused on the problems. That makes people wonder, why is she saying all this now? Is it just honesty, or is it a planned strategy to gain sympathy, sell books, and create buzz? Her branding also plays heavily on the image of being a victim. Michelle often talks about how hard life has been for her as a black woman, a mother, a public figure. While these are real experiences, critics like Kelly and Waters point out that she also had many privileges. She lived in the White House for 8 years. She travels the world. She has major deals with big media companies. So when she speaks about hardship while wearing expensive clothes and promoting high-priced wellness products, it sounds off. It can feel like she's selling struggle as a product. Now let's explore her memoirs. The first book, Becoming, was a major success. It sold millions of copies, received high praise, and helped define her post-White House identity. But then came more books, then came Netflix specials, stadium tours, and branded events. Critics began to wonder, is this storytelling or selling? Is this about inspiration or income? Michelle's stories became more personal, more emotional, and more dramatic. Every new release added more pain, more challenges, more inner conflict. To Kelly and Waters, this didn't feel organic. It felt like a plan. It's also important to talk about her relationship with Barack Obama. In public, couples usually present a united image, especially if one of them was president. But Michelle often highlights Barack's weaknesses. She says he's not good at talking. She says he doesn't connect with people. She says he needs to be pushed. While that may be her truth, the way she shares it on a public podcast makes it feel like she's trying to create emotional distance. Jesse Waters even joked that Michelle's podcast sounds more like therapy than entertainment. This kind of content leads people to question her future plans. Is Michelle preparing to run for office? She says no, but her media team is acting like a campaign team. They plan every word. They protect her from tough questions. They create content that feels inspirational, political, and motivational all at once. Even though she says she wants to be private, she shows up in carefully crafted spaces again and again. That's what Kelly and Waters are talking about, not just the content, but the strategy behind it. And then there's the wellness brand. Michelle promotes health drinks, balance, and positivity. But these products aren't cheap. They are aimed at a wealthy audience. Jesse Waters called it guilt-based beverages. He said her wellness empire is built on people feeling like they need to do better, eat better, and be better. And who is the guide? Michelle herself. She positions herself as the expert, the coach, the mentor. But critics ask, why is the advice so expensive? Why is everything tied to a brand, a product, a slogan? When she talks about motherhood, Michelle uses very raw language. She says kids mess you up. She says motherhood is hard. She says she doesn't enjoy parts of it. Again, honesty is good, but the way she shares these things feels more like a monologue than a conversation. It's staged, rehearsed, part of a larger story. That story is not just about parenting.